Alright, peace, God.
Peace to God.
I'm always in your class, filming, your classroom and everything. But now I just, figure that we have a conversation, like directly, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, finally, yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let them know, how you got the knowledge of yourself, like, your name and how you came.
Yeah. It's funny, the name goes before, kind of before I came to get the knowledge. If getting the knowledge is coming here, I had the name first.
Really?
Because when I was in college, a lot of it sticks in with the hip hop, but not because of rap records directly, per se, the lyrics. The Brand Nubian, the first 3 albums I ever bought with my brother were Brand Nubians, One for All, Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory, and Leaders of the New School, Future Without a Past. So I had the fun, quality music, and then I had the knowledge. So it was in there. I was quoting the knowledge degree as a sing-song thing in my head.
Right, through what?
Yeah, but I had, through, the maker, the owner, that was very, in the head, obviously. But it was not until later, and other records, obviously the most influential, I think, in my life is The Woo Forever. Because RZA said on Duck Season, he said the 120 lessons and nothing compares to the 120 lessons of my queen and my seed. And I was like, Queen Seed, I can get those. But how do you get, what is that? And I sound like a madman because I was telling my brother, I was telling everybody, what is this? Where do we get this? But at the time, and that's why it links, by the time 97 happens, I'm writing in my college newspaper at Baruch College, right, called The Ticker. And I didn't really care for my degree. By the time I was nearing the end of my degree, I was kind of stuck with it because I was very poor. It was really welfare that was paying my way to that, Tapel and Tap, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I came out of a lot of poverty like that, but, my parents helped, they did everything and they got me into college. But I chose a degree that I thought would be useful because when you come out of poverty. But it wasn't something, I had no love for it. In fact, I ended up having an abject hate for it because I became, the more I learned about, let's say, Che Guevara, Fidel, and then the more I learned about the business I was taking, I saw why it was wrong. But I had to keep on with the degree because I didn't have money to start again, or the desire to do all that again. Yeah. So what happened was that my mother, she always wanted me to do an extracurricular activity. So she had me write, and that's how I wrote in the college paper. The thing is that the college paper was, being in Baruch, it was a campus at the time, not now, it's one place, but it was spread out in leased buildings. So they would lease buildings, so one would be Union Square, around there, one would be 26 and Park, 23rd and Lex. So you were kind of all around, and that's where all the record labels are, that's where all the magazines were, so I had no idea that I was really around all these places. So the minute I started to write in the magazines, I was really writing that I was God. I started to have my own column in the college, right? And I started to say that I was God. And when I wrote in there, I didn't really know what it was. Sometimes if you read the writings, I was like mystery God. I was, it just sounded good because I was fishing in my own writing.
And all this you got from?
Just lyrics. Yeah, because I'm from Sunset Park, Brooklyn, so the gods were really enemies. God body, the term, the idea. And I was,
enemies.
Yeah, because not my enemy, but in the neighborhood's enemy. Because I wasn't doing things in the street. I was a regular kid, surviving poverty, but not doing illegal crimes. So it was Nieta, it was Familia, it was Latin Kings.
Right.
So God body was like what those people do in jail, what they try to mess with us, this and that, and hearing it from other brothers around, I was like, okay, but they still.
But music kind of got through. Got through.
Yeah, but it got through to me in different ways and stuff, and it would shock me in different ways. So I was always feeling like I couldn't get to it. I didn't know where to go exactly. When I was in college, I started to really write in this concept of being God. But it was very mysterious though. It was one day here, one day there. And that's important because one day, a brother comes in and says he wants to write, and he's very eccentric. He still is very eccentric. That's all he can define him as part of his dynamic character. And he comes in and he has like a resume. It's a college paper if you want to you can volunteer. But he's giving me a resume.
Right.
And I had already written in Vibe magazine, like their website and all that kind of stuff, and I was moving to Double XL, right? But I stayed in college. I didn't think this could be a career. And he comes along with his own resume himself, doing college as well. And he was writing a beat down and others, because he showed me the clippings. And I was like, hey, you got it. You just come in, man. Because I was the editor at the time of the arts section. I had made it that far, right? And so that was Day Sun.
I was going to ask you, is that Day Sun?
That was Day Sun, who would eventually, become editor-in-chief of The Source and write for The Village Voice. And so he told me, yeah, you're God. I said, yeah, I am. And that's when he told me, like, yo, there's a place where, they teach this. And I was like, there's a school that teaches that
The science.
that the black man is God, the original man. You know what I mean? 'Cause I really thought that the original man was something that included me. Because when you listen to hip hop as a Puerto Rican, you don't really feel like ex-Clan poor righteous teachers that they talk about things you relate to, but not things that are about you particularly.
Right.
Like I always thought if I met ex-Clan or if I met Wise Intelligence, they were like, man, we wasn't talking about you. You play some drums and stuff, and you do.
Shit.
I don't think, like I wasn't really clear. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a lot of that has to do with the upbringing of being a Puerto Rican, where they tell you that you have black, but you're not really black. So they can explain every black thing that you end up doing, or you just have an affinity for that. I just have an affinity for that. I'm not really black. It's just,
right. Somewhere along the line.
Exactly.
We can trace it back, but that's not really you.
Yeah. So it starts identity crisis, in the individual, and they never really had that. I just thought that they wouldn't really get it or something like that. So Day Sun, this is around 1998. This is Gangstar's Moment of Truth dropped.
98, okay.
And I associated with those times because we had went to the release party for that. But so he kept telling me, again in his eccentric, bombastic tone, that, you go learn there, but you gotta be ready. Like, they will bomb you if you don't know what you're talking about. So, I don't really know what bomb means. So I'm like, they could really yell at me, like beat me up and stuff like that. And, and for me, I never even been on, like, to really hang out. I never hung out on this side of Harlem.
Right.
I've been on the Spanish side of Harlem though. Like,
right, on the east side.
The years before, like just 2-3 years before, I had just really started to come to Spanish Harlem to revisit my Puerto Rican roots through the music. As far as, because when I get into music, obviously I get seriously into it, and even the black music on Puerto Rican side, like salsa, was shunned upon. So I spent a lot of time researching old salsa, going to listen to players.
I mean, were your parents shunning it, or was
it was just natural, because like most Puerto Ricans, they were assimilated, but also protectively assimilated. They were pre-protecting you, So the best way to protect you is teach you how to write. Make sure you know English extremely well, not just regular English.
Right.
Extremely well. No accent, no nothing. You have to write on a high level. And I think this is why I was able to express myself through that, because my older had me writing since I was a kid.
Right.
But excessively and abnormally. Summer book reports, that don't get handed into any teacher.
Right.
She would quiz me on books I was reading, and if we were to read 20, it was 20 pages all the time, and if it was from, let's say, from 10 to 30, she would ask me, what does it say on page 16 at the top paragraph? And so I would always lose out and have to keep reading, because who can remember that specific detail? We used to try to tell her, like, that's not the way you test about it, but she didn't care.
She just wanted you to be sharp.
Yeah. So we had to read 20 more, we would do those 20 again. So it was really, that's the way I was raised.
That's intense.
Yeah, that's the way I was raised, yeah. So, when I met Day Sun, I really thought that I wouldn't be accepted here or allowed to learn. So I read from 1998 till the 1999, May of 99 when I came here, I was reading all the books. I was going into the Baruch College Library, which is a business school, so they didn't have much care for really other types of books, and reading all their books. Destruction of Black Civilization, check into Diop's, African Origin of Civilization. All of the Elijah Muhammad books I get, Afrocentricity, Malefica Sante, everything that was black, everything that was connected.
And this is all before you got here.
This is all before I got here because I was like, I really have to know this stuff.
Right.
And I memorized the math, the alphabet, the 1 to 10, and the first 4 degrees of the 1 to 36.
Wow, this is all before you.
This is all before I ever stepped in here. And because he was always talking about the name and what his name meant.
They son.
I made my name because I figured they wouldn't let me in if I didn't have a name either. So I made Sunez, and Sunez was like, I was thinking like, oh, he has sun in his name. I come from sunset. You know what I mean? And I'm also I'm thinking I'm the only Puerto Rican that ever had this, that would ever have this.
Wow, okay.
I'm totally ignorant to all the Puerto Rican 5%ers and the legacy of this. And so I'm thinking like, certainly people in Sunset. So I'm thinking that my name has to be something where people will hear it and a black seed will say, oh, they are God too. And a Latino will say, hey, I am God too. That was just in my thinking. So it became an acronym because his was an acronym. Or his is an acronym. And I said, Savior of the Universe now shows and proves the equality of Zigzag Zig.
Okay.
So in my thought process, the N was pronounced like an Enya, Sunez. And Enya didn't mean like just now, it meant now showing and proving.
Okay.
Like I added it to complete the sentence, like to make it a complete sentence. That's how I don't tell that many people, but that's really what I had made up what Enya means in there.
Right.
But of course I haven't finished the rest of the Spanish alphabet. My Spanish is totally Spanglish and I need more work to finish that. But equality of Zigzag Zig, equality is 6, 1 plus 2 plus 3, or 1 times 2 times 3. Or simply put, Sun is Allah. If you said it that way, Sun is Allah, Sunez, S-U-N-E-Z. And so I came here May 1st, and I 1999, and I was extremely well received.
Contrary to what you thought.
Yeah, I was mind blown. See, this was like I didn't see the so-called shabbiness of a school. I didn't see anything broken down to me. This looked like the most pristine building. No, it had its flaws. Like when you look,
1999.
To me, it looked like the most pristine thing I've ever walked into.
Wow.
It was glowing. Everybody was so nice to me.
Wow.
I was so welcomed. I was like, okay, I could really learn here and see a lot.
See, now I'm saying wow because that wasn't really my experience.
That was
what I came 5 years earlier, and so from the outside it looked like that, but when I got inside, I was like, where's the rest of it?
That's the thing. Like the inside looked as bad as you could think, right? It doesn't look like it does now, but to me it looked amazing. It was like, because in my own mind I was like, oh, this is why it looks like this. That's why nobody has it. Because only a few people could have it, so it has to look like this. And I know these, things. And I was extremely well received. So CLR, he told me.
Old man CLR.
Yeah, old man CLR, right? And all these remembered imperfection people,
Right.
He was like, the next class is May 4th, Tuesday. I went there on a Saturday, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't in this fluctuating climate change weather. It was hot.
It's hot, right.
And May 4th was that Tuesday, and it just happened to be that was going to be Knowledge Me's class to teach.
If Mecca did this,